On a random Monday morning, I decided to go skydiving by myself. Of course, the instructor was there, but I didn't tell anyone. I didn't bring anyone to the skydiving place. It was honestly such an amazing experience. There's really no feeling like it. And for a lot of people, this is like a symbol of them overcoming their fear, right? You've heard this. A lot of people, they're like, I'm going to face my fear of heights, and they go skydiving, which is amazing. But skydiving alone will not cure your anxiety. All that being said, there are some benefits to your anxiety from going skydiving. Number one, you'll have some sort of anchor point, because you could always look back at the moment you went skydiving and be like, hey, you know, me talking to this random stranger that I'm anxious to do, that's way easier than jumping out of a plane. So you'll always have this moment to look back on. Number two, you'll build some momentum because you just did this amazing thing, right? You probably have this fear of heights and you were able to somewhat address it by jumping out of a plane. You'll have a lot of momentum, but you need to continue to face those fears to build off of that. Because if you go skydiving and then you never face any other fears, you won't get better. Like, this will just be one cool moment you had. But if you use that momentum and you start to use this to have tough conversations with friends, family members, you start to put yourself out there the way you're fearful of doing previously, and then this moment could potentially just change your life. But you have to use that momentum to your advantage. And lastly, it'll show you what life looks like outside of your comfort zone. Because yeah, it's scary that going up in the plane and then you're looking down and you see all of society and you're like, oh my God, we're gonna jump from here. But you'll experience something so different than what you're used to. We're all used to just chilling on our phones, standing inside, not really doing something like crazy like this. So it'll show you that there's another life out there. You know what I mean? There's a life where you can push yourself, where you can constantly be outside of your comfort zone, where you can put yourself out there. And maybe you want to implement some of those things into your life. I think that there's so many benefits to getting outside of your comfort zone. Also, skydiving will teach you that the fear is often bigger than the actual reality. Because when you go skydiving, you know, you think like there's this huge risk, when in reality it's pretty safe, right? Like, most people, they land safely. I haven't heard of anyone getting injured from skydiving, even though it is a possibility and a risk and you have to sign a waiver. It's a pretty safe thing to do. But your body reacts as if it's like incredibly dangerous, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, how do you jump out of a plane and land safely? It's hard for us to comprehend. You'll realize, like, okay, I know I feel this fear, but I went skydiving and I felt fear and I was fine, so I can act despite it. Skydiving alone will not cure your anxiety. I wanted to say this before I went skydiving, but I was like, you know what? I don't know that. I truly don't know what it's like to experience skydiving. So I was like, for me to talk about this, I have to actually do it. That's one of the reasons I decided to risk my life to make this video for you, for my 11 subscribers. Shout out to my 11 subscribers, real ones. So what will help your anxiety more than skydiving? Well, one, knowing what to do moment to moment when you feel those anxious thoughts and feelings. So in order to deal with your anxious thoughts, you could either watch my full Overcoming Anxiety guide where I talk about it, or there's also 2 books you could read. One of them is called Dare, the New Way to End Anxiety, and the other is called The Worry Trick. If you read these 2 books, I think it'll teach you some really good ways to deal with your anxious thoughts and feelings moment to moment. Again, if you don't want to read the books, I do have that video covering essentially a summary of those books, as well as some other ideas that I have. I'm not a medical professional, but I have a bunch of content like this about overcoming anxiety, at least what helps me, so hopefully it can help you as well. And I'll continue to make videos like this. Honestly, best case scenario, you read both those books and you watch my video. If you think I'm just promoting my video, then don't watch it, just read the books. So once you know how to deal with anxious thoughts, what else is going to help you more than skydiving? Being really consistent and focusing on taking it one day at a time. Like, just try and get 1% better every day. I promise you that constant progress is more beneficial than just one big moment like going skydiving. Like, think about how much time you spend day to day and compare that to the 5 minutes you are when you're skydiving. All those hours you're spending every day, that's going to count way more towards your anxiety than skydiving. Then other healthy habits like sleep and exercise, and also things that make you more mindful, like reading, journaling, meditating. These things will help your anxiety more than just one big moment like skydiving. Also, being really honest with yourself, committing to being an honest person, that will help you more than skydiving, because that's your best guess as to understanding what you fear and also what the right steps would be to address those fears. And lastly, just having supportive friends and family members around you. If you have very supportive people around you, it will help you with your anxiety as long as you're doing the right things and you're aimed in the right direction. Like, if your friends and family are telling you to just take it easy, or they're not being supportive, either one of those, they're being a little too overprotective or they're not being supportive, that will negatively impact you. But if you have people who are supportive to you and encouraging in terms of you facing the things you've been avoiding, that will be incredibly beneficial. And listen, I know it's not going to be easy putting yourself out there, even incrementally. But just focus on taking it one step at a time, trying to get a little better each day. And I promise you that even though it won't be easy, it will be worth it. Life's not easy, but it's worth it. Take care.